जय
श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्यामा कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की
जय
जय
मथुरापुरी वृंदावन धाम की
जय
जय
गंगा माई यमुना माई की
जय
तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की
जय
जय
श्याम वेद भक्त वृंद की
जय
जय
गौर प्रेमानंदे
हरि हरि बोल।
all glories to assembled devotees,
हरे कृष्ण
all glories to assembled devotees,
हरे कृष्ण
all glories to assembled devotees,
हरे कृष्ण
all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga.
हरि हरि बोल।
नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनि इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शरणागति परिचर्ये. So today we are reading very important text, really, text number 11 and 12 of Canto 10, of Canto 1, Chapter 10. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayana Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasa Tato Jaya Mudiraye Shunvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Radhyantosto hi abhadrani buddhanoti shratsatam nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtuki. So I will recite the verse 3 times, both verses, and then you please repeat it. Recite it. Sat sangan mukta duh sango atum notsahate buddha Kirtyamanam yasho yasha suprada akarnya rochanam tasmin yasadhyah partha saheran viraham katham darshana sparsha samlapa sayanasana bhojane satasangan mukta duh sango hatum notsahate buddha Kirtyamanam yasho yasha suprada akarnya rochanam tasmin yasadhyah partha saheran viraham katham darshana sparsha samlapa sayanasana bhojanahe satasangan mukta duh sango hatum notsahate buddha Kirtyamanam yasho yasha suprada karnya rochanam tasmin yasadhyah partha saheran viraham katham darshana sparsha samlapa sayanashana bhojana. Please recite.
Satsangam mukta dushango hatum no shahate buddha. Kirtyamanam yasho yasha sakrit akarnya rochanam tasmin nyastadya partaha saharin viharam katam darshana sparshas samlapa Shayashanam Bhojanahai.
हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna.
सत्संगं मुक्त दुह संगो हांतुम नोत्सहते बुधः कीर्त्यमानं यशो यस्य सकृता कर्णरोचनम् तस्मिन् यत्सधियः पार्था सहेरन् विहरं कथं दर्शन स्पर्शं संलापा सयनासन भोजनाय. हरे कृष्ण.
Hare, go ahead, Mataji. सत्संग मुक्तदुसंगो हातुं नोत्सहते बुधः कीर्त्यमानं यशो यस्य सकृदाकर्ण्यरोचनम् तस्मिन् यत्स्तधियः पार्थः सहेरनविरहं कथं दर्शनस्पर्शसंलापाशयनासनभोजनैः। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Satsanga mukta dursango hatum no sahate buddha Prityak manaya so yasya shakrit akaryak rochanam Tasmin yasradiya parta saheram viharam katam Darshana sparsa samlapa sanyana sanabhojanai.
सत्सङ्गन्मुक्ता धूषसङ्गो हतुं नोत्सहते बुधः कीर्त्यामानं यशो यास्या सकृदकृणया रोचनम् तस्मिन् यास्ता धियः परितः सहरणं विरहं कथं दर्शनास्पर्शा समलपा प्रयाणासना भोजनैः। हरे कृष्ण।
सत्संगान् मुक्त दुष्संगो हातुं न उत्साहते बुधा कीर्तयामानां यशो यस्य सकृदाकर्ण्यरोचनम् तस्मिन्यश्च धिया पार्थ सहेरन् विरहं कथं दर्शनास्पर्श संलापा शयनासन भोजनै।
हरे कृष्ण। सत्संगान मुक्त दुःसंगो हातुं नोत्सहते बुधः कीर्त्यामानं यशो यस्य सकृद् आकर्ण्यरोचिनम् तस्मिन् यस्तधियाय पार्थः सहेरन् विरहं कथम् दर्शनास्पर्श संलापा स्यानासन भोजनैः। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. So we will do word-to-word translation now. Satsangat, by the association of pure devotees. Mukta duhu sangaha, freed from the bad materialistic association. Hatum, to give up. Na utsahate, never attempts. Buddha, one who has understood the Lord. Kirtya manan, glorifying. Yasha, fame. Yasha, whose. Sakrata, once only. Akarni, hearing only. Rochanam, pleasing. Tasmin, unto him. Dinasya dhiyaha, one who has given his mind unto him. Partha, the son of Pratha. Saheran, can tolerate. Viraham, separation. Katham, how. Darshana, seeing face to face. Sparsha, touching. Samlapa, conversing. Shayana, sleeping. Asana, sitting. Bhojana, dining together. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The intelligent who has understood the Supreme Lord in association with the pure devotees have become freed from bad materialistic association, can never avoid hearing the glories of the Lord, even though they have heard them only once. How then could the Pandavas tolerate his separation? For they had been intimately associated with his person, seeing him face to face, touching him, conversing with him, and sleeping, sitting, and dining with him. Purport. The living being's constitutional position is one of the serving a superior. He is obliged to serve by force the dictates of illusory material energy in different phases of sense gratification. And in serving the senses, he is never tired. Even though he may be tired, the illusionary energy perpetually forces him to do so without being satisfied. There is no end to such sense gratificatory business, and conditioned souls becomes entangled in such servitude without hope of release. The release is only effected by the association of pure devotees. By such association, one is gradually promoted to his transcendental consciousness. Thus, he can know that his eternal position is to render service unto the Lord and not to the perverted senses in the capacity of lust, anger, desire to lord it over, etc. Material, society, friendship, and love are all different phases of lust. Home, country, family, society, wealth, and all sorts of corollaries are all causes of bondage in this material world, where the threefold miseries of the life are concomitant factors. By associating with the pure devotees and by hearing them submissively, attachment for the material enjoyment becomes slackened. The attraction for hearing about the transcendental activities of the Lord becomes prominent. Once they will go on progressively without stoppage, like fire in the gunpowder. It is said that Hari, the personality of Godhead, is so transcendently attractive that even those who are self-satisfied by self-realization and are actually liberated from all material bondage also become devotees of the Lord. Under the circumstances, it is easily understood that what must have been the position of the Pandavas, who were constantly companion of the Lord. They could not even think of separation from Sri Krishna, since the attraction was more intense for them because of the continuous personal contact. His remembrance by his form, quality, name, fame, pastime, etc. is also attractive for the pure devotees. So much so that he forgets all forms, quality, name, fame, and activities of the mundane world. And due to his mature association with the pure devotees, he is not out of contact with the Lord for a moment. This is the end of the purport. Om Agyanti Mirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Bhayam Dadati Swapadhatikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vashabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shannavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine. So this is very nice slok actually, and it is mostly about how it starts with satsanga, by association of pure devotees. So association in our life is actually very important. And then it says that Buddha, and the first line is Buddha means, we have heard many verses about Buddha, but Buddha means actually intelligent or intelligent person. But Prabhupada is right. So that intelligent, it should not be like in materialistic subjects. Many people may have PhD and 10 PhDs together. Doesn't matter actually if he is just intelligent in the material sciences. Actually, Prabhupada is translating Buddha means one who has understood the Lord. So if somebody is Krishna conscious, then only he is Buddha. Otherwise, you may know many subject matters, history, geography, all of those things, but that doesn't matter much according to this verse. So yesterday, Balabhadra Prabhu read the verse number 9 and 10, and which was saying the unable to bear the separation from Lord Krishna. Actually, when Lord Krishna, after the battle of Kurukshetra, And after they all heard about from Bhishma Dev, how to rule the kingdom and all different subject matters, which we are discussing for last few weeks, actually. So after that also, Krishna stayed with them for a few months, actually, just to pacify them and just to make sure everything is running smoothly, and to encourage them, Yudhishthira Maharaj and all the Pandavas and everybody. So Krishna happily stayed there. But then he told his desire that I want to go back to Dwarika. So he was getting ready to go to Dwarika. But when the people from Hastinapur heard that Lord Krishna is actually living, then they were really shocked, because they were living with him for so many times. Krishna was coming to Hastinapur and helping the Pandavas right from the beginning. So he came many times, actually, So now he's going, just the thought of that actually was killing them, because they didn't wanted separation from Krishna, because they were all pure devotees. Pure devotees always want association with Krishna. And especially Pandavas, Pandavas, we know how they were actually living with Krishna, because they were very intimately absorbed with him, actually. They were seeing him all the time. They were touching him, his body. They were conversing with him. They were sleeping together, sitting together, eating together. And so how Pandavas can tolerate the separation of Krishna? It was very hard. So we know that Subhadra, Draupadi, Kunti, yesterday we read, Uttara, Gandhari, Dhritarashtra, Yujutsu, Kripacharya, Nakul, they all were actually in great anxiety about the separation from Krishna. They didn't want it to get separated from Krishna. And that's a really great sign for the devotee, that he is feeling separation from Krishna. So I will read the translation once more. He says, the intelligent who have understood the Supreme Lord in association with pure devotees. So the association of pure devotees is very important. They become freed from all materialistic association. So once we associate with the good people, with the devotees actually, and especially the pure devotees, then actually the materialistic association automatically goes away. And then once we hear about Krishna, then what happens? And associate with the people, then hearing is another important thing, because our taste for hearing increases slowly in the association of the devotees. And then we hear the glories of the Lord, his activities, his leelas, pastimes, leelas of his devotees, all those things we hear. And even though we heard them only once from a pure devotee, but still, this devotees association is so important, even we hear just a few seconds, then we can still like increase our hearing more and more by diet, because we get some taste of hearing actually. So then it says that how then could Pandavas tolerate his separation, for they had been intimately associated with his person. They were seeing Krishna in person actually, and seeing him face to face all the time. They were touching him, conversing him. Even I heard a class, it says that Bhima and Arjuna was same age like Krishna. So sometime like Mother Kunti were serving them the prasadam, the food actually. And when she was serving the food, because Krishna was a special guest, so he will serve more, But sometimes Bhim is so hungry, he will try to grab some prasadam, some food from Krishna's plate even, So they were so intimately connected. So we can imagine if the Krishna is separated from them, how they will feel. But Krishna had to go because he has to take care of the Dwarika also, and so he was trying to go. But this verse actually in particular showing how they were intimately connected and how they were in anxiety of separation from Krishna. So we know that separation we heard of the Lord, like gopis actually, when Krishna left Vrindavan with Akrurji, then gopis were crying. They came in front of the chariot, and they said that no, you have to like cross over the chariot on our body, then only you can go. They were so much determined, but Krishna actually convinced them, I will come back, and then they let him go anyway. But they were separated all their lives, waiting for Krishna. So this is the condition of the gopis. Same way Vishnu Priya and Mother Sachi were actually like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas and he went to Jagannath Puri, live on the order of his mother, that you live in Jagannath Puri, so at least I can hear about you. So how the Mother Vishnu Priya Mataji and Mother Sachi actually lived in separation. So actually we also can perform best bhakti in separation of the Lord. That is called Vipralamba Bhav. So in the Vipralamba Bhav, actually all the gopis did bhakti very properly and very intensely. Actually, when Krishna is there, then you chit chat and joke around, but when Krishna is not there, you remember him much more. So in this verse, actually, the first word is association. So we should actually, Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Asat Sangatyaga hi Vaishnavachar. So we have to get rid of the Asat, the association of the Asat person. A Vaishnava should always avoid the association of ordinary people. Asat means the ordinary people are who is not a devotee, So there are two kinds of Asat people. One who is attached to women and sense of gratification. And second one is non-devotee. So both should be avoided actually. It's not like, oh, he's not that much sense of gratifier or woman hunter, so I can associate with him. So non-devotee also should not be associated. But Prabhupada said, that if we can preach him, it's no problem, but we should not associate intimately with non-devotees because they can pull us also to the Maya, because Maya Devi is very strong. So positive side in our life, we should associate with Mahatmas, and negative side, we should actually avoid association of non-devotees and woman hunters or people who are sense of gratifier. And also, we should actually remember Krishna all the time, like Pandavas was remembering, and the gopis were remembering him. So Chaitanya Charitamrita has very nice slok. Khaite soite yatha tatha namalaye kala deshaniyam nahi sarva siddhi hai. So during eating, during sleeping, anyway, regardless of time and place, one who chants the holy name, even while eating and sleeping, attain all the perfection. So while working also we can remember Krishna, while eating also we can remember Krishna, while drinking water we can remember Krishna, that Krishna is the taste of the water. We can see all the greeneries all around, remember Krishna. So that is the proper way of remembering Krishna all 24 hours, and 365 days a year. So always we can remember Krishna because everything around us is all made by Krishna, all the creation of Krishna actually. So this creation should remind us about Krishna and we should remember him. While sleeping also, before sleeping, we should read Krishna book, remember his activities, and those activities we can remember during sleep also, during dream also. So that is the proper way actually. Actually, Krishna never separated from us because Krishna is sitting in our heart in the form of Paramatma. So he is always here. He's always in the heart of his devotees. So about hearing, Krishna, Lord Krishna has given in Bhagavad Gita. There are so many shlokas about hearing, like seventh chapter, first verse, Shruno, Tat Shruno. So that's hearing is very important actually, and association also with the devotees is very important. Like we in Srimad Bhagavatam, like Vrishabdev, who was the incarnation of Supreme Lord, actually, he says that we should not work hard. He was teaching his sons, and there is a nice verse on the 5th chapter and the 5th canto, 5th chapter, and verse number 1. Very famous verse. Nayam deho deha bhajan niloke kashtan kaman arhate vidbujam ye tapo divyam putrakaye na satvam shuddhaye dayasmat brahma sokhyam to antam. So Lord Vrishabdev was telling his sons that all the jivas who has taken bodies in this material world, all the people with the bodies, and especially the human beings, because human form is very rare actually, and only in human form we can remember Krishna, or we can actually do the service to the Krishna. Other in the dog form, a cat body or pig body, we cannot think about Krishna. And like Krishna says, Manmana Bhava Bhakto Matya Jivan Namaskuru. So we cannot do these processes in other bodies actually. So human body is so important, and in the human, it's a very rare also. So in human form of body, Prashabdev is saying that the humans should not work very hard like a donkey, because donkey work hard from morning to evening, and takes so much load of the feet of the washerman just for little grass, and we are doing the same thing actually. Many people we are seeing, they get earlier 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, and they take shower and all those things, and get ready and go to work, travel 2 hours to the job, and they work till 8, 9 o'clock, and then they come back 2 hours drive, they come, and then they have little sex and sleep, and then in the morning the same life. So they work more than a donkey actually, So what is the sense of this thing? Unless they remember Krishna's beauty, Krishna's leelas, then their life is all useless actually, So it's simply they work day and night simply for sense gratification, which is available even to the dogs and hogs, and who eat stool actually. So actually, Prasad is suggesting his sons that one should engage in the penance and austerity to attain divine position in the devotional service, because devotional service is very important. And by devotional service, one's heart is purified, and when one attains the position of a devotee, and then his life is very blissful actually. So we should see what is best for us actually. In the purport, Sri Prabhupada also writes a very nice shloka that our living beings' constitutional position is one of the serving a superior. So we have to actually serve the superior, associate with him. And there is so much glories throughout all Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam about the association, because association is so important that we cannot, by any way, we can misunderstand its value. Like there is a very nice slok in the 3rd canto, 25th chapter, verse number 25 in Srimad Bhagavatam. And it starts with the satam prasanga mama virya samido bhajanti haratkarn rasayana katha tajjo shana dashva vapavarga vartamani shraddha ratir bhaktir anukrameshyati. In the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes and activities of Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. By cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced in path of liberation, and thereafter he is free and his attraction becomes fixed. Then real devotion and the devotional service begins. So Srila Prabhupada is writing in the purport that this is the process of advancing in Krishna consciousness, and devotional service is described here. So actually, when Sri Radhanath Maharaj, His Holiness Radhanath Swami, was in Philadelphia for Rath Yatra, and I was driving him from Rath Yatra to the temple to meet Ravinswarup Prabhu. So I asked the same question, that I feel, Maharaj, for so many years that I am doing bhakti, I'm doing chanting, I'm reading some books, but just look like my devotional service is like stable. It's not moving upwards at all. It's the same thing again and again. I do my chanting because, I promised Srila Prabhupada that I will chant, like that. And I read, just a little bit, just to give class or something. So Maharaj said, that he told me about this shlok, Satam Prasanga. He said, read that shlok 325-25. And then you see how you can progress. Because our life, I have I must have given this example before, that there was a boat, and in the boat, the one barat, the bridal party has to go to other town, to the girl's place, the bride's place. The groom's party actually was going to bride's place, which was about 5 miles. So they all sat in the boat in the night time, midnight, so in the morning they will reach there at girl's place. So what happened, the boatman was actually taking the boat, and the boat was moving up and down. But in the morning, everybody saw that they are at the same place, same town. They didn't move even an inch. And then they saw that the boatman actually forgot to remove the anchor. So the boat was tied. And so he had to remove the anchor. Similarly, we are anchored by the material world actually, to our wife, our children, our society, our country, so many things, to the news, how much time we waste in all these things, Actually, we should perform our duties as a human being, but we should attach only to the Krishna. Attachment should be to Krishna, do his service together in the family, so everybody can grow up in the devotional service. That should be the aim of life, rather than, let me serve my wife, or let me serve my children, or let me serve, because we are serving Krishna together with the whole family, and that is the proper way. So the first point is there, that one must seek the association of persons who are Krishna conscious. Now somebody may ask, whom to associate with, so we have to see that devotee is pure. So Krishna conscious people who are engaged in devotional service all the time. Without such association, one cannot make any advancement in the spiritual life. Simply by theoretical knowledge, actually, one cannot. Just theoretical knowledge doesn't help. Like if I want, if I don't take the shelter of association of the devotees, if I want to read myself Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, I will never understand the real meaning, what Krishna wants to say. So I have to associate, because association is very, very important. Even just for few seconds association, is very beneficial to the soul and to our life actually. So one must give up the association of materialistic people and seek the association of the devotees, because without association, devotee cannot understand the activity of the Lord. Because see, the non-devotees actually cannot appreciate Krishna consciousness, even though they may read all the Vedic literature, Bhagavatam, and they can get PhD in Bhagavatam, but doesn't matter actually, they are not pure devotees. Devotee has to serve the Lord and serve his superior. They have to come in the parampara. So these things are very important. You cannot become yourself, self-proclaimed devotee like that, okay, I read whole Bhagavatam, so now I can answer any question. No, that kind of person is not a devotee. Or some devotee, like people come, Katha Vachak in the small towns, and they say, okay, I will do the Bhagavad Sapta, and he charges 2 lakh rupees, I'm doing the Katha, so that person's, if you hear from that person, you get more contaminated rather than advance in the spiritual life. So actually we should avoid this kind of people and have the association with proper persons actually. So we should associate with devotees who has the eagerness to serve Krishna. They have the hankering to see the Krishna, and who are practicing Krishna very seriously, who are sincere souls, and they are crazy for the Krishna. So this kind of person, if we associate, then our life will be perfect actually. Because about association, it says, sadhu sangha, sarva shastra koi, lava matra sadhu sangha, sarva siddhi hai. So we should, and about listening also, when we listen, we hear, we should actually listen properly, very properly, not like we are doing this thing, our mind is going different places, because that kind of listening doesn't actually stay with us long time. We hear it from one ear and goes out from other ear actually. After hearing, we should do the chintan. Chintan means, we have to actually contemplate, what we heard and how we can apply in our life. So actually, association with the devotees has 3 parts actually. First, to hear submissively, and then we have transmission of the class, what are the main points, we should discuss with the devotees. And then we should get transformation in ourselves. So we have to adapt those things in our life. So somebody may ask, whom I should associate with. So actually, we should associate with the people who are good examples. So that point is very important, because if they are good examples, like one Mother Maharaj says that ISKCON is like a big hospital, and we all are patients in this material world actually. And we should not associate with people who have the corona or who have typhoid or infectious disease, because they are infectious and they will infect us also. So we should avoid the people who has much more sickness, material sickness actually in this material world. And so that way we can actually increase our concentration in Krishna service actually. So Srila Prabhupada actually started the Nityam Bhagavad Seva, that in each temple the Bhagavatam class should be there. And so our temple is also following the same thing, that Bhagavatam class is there, and that's very good actually. And that's a very important part of bhakti, to listen Bhagavatam every single day. We begin our day with Bhagavatam class and if we start that way, our mind actually focused on Krishna. So I was in Indore a couple months ago, and then I went with devotees from Ujjain. I went to one college, very famous college, Delhi College, and one professor actually was introducing the devotees there, and he was telling that the students actually should be very strictly follow their schedule, and he was giving the example of ISKCON devotees, how they follow the morning program. So see, the ISKCON's morning programs are so famous, and people give example of that, so we should be proud of that, actually Prabhupada started so nice thing, the morning programs, which consist of Mangal Arti, then Tulsi Puja, then chanting, then Shangar Arti, and all those things, and Bhagavatam class after that. So these things actually make our day. We start with these things, our day will be definitely successful. So in our life, if we act under the instructions or under the directions of Krishna, then actually gradually and slowly we will get attracted to Krishna. But in this material world, actually, unfortunately, most of the Jiva souls are Bahirmukh, they are away from Krishna. And why they are away from Krishna? Because they want to have sense of gratification. So because we have turned our face away from Krishna. So Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is nice slok. Krishna bhuliya jiv bhagavancha kare, pase te maya tare jhaptiya dhare. Means the Maya Devi is slapping you every minute, every second. She is standing right in front of you. And if we forget Krishna, then we will go to Maya Devi. Because as Prabhupada is writing in the purport, that constitutional position is the serving a superior. So we have to serve. Either we can serve our family, our wife, our children, our society, our country. We can serve our government, we can serve anybody. But serving, we have to do serve. So we have choice whom we should serve. We can either serve God, like Srila Prabhupada puts it, either we can serve a God or we can serve a dog. What we want to see. This is the freedom of human being. But we have to take advantage of this human life and serve proper supreme person, Lord Krishna. So we have to work for Krishna under the direction of Krishna. We can see the life of the Pandavas, which we are reading actually every day in the Bhagavatam for the last few months. So see, after the Mahabharata war, only Pandavas left and Parikshit Maharaj left in the Pandava side. And we see how Krishna is actually take care of his devotees. Like after the Mahabharata war, Lord Krishna told Arjuna that you get down first from the chariot. Why he told that? Because after Arjuna left the chariot, Lord Krishna left, and immediately whole chariot got burned right away, instantly. And why this happened? Because there were so many effect of the Astra and Shastra on the chariot. And Arjuna was saved because Lord Krishna was present, because nothing can hurt Lord Krishna actually, because he is the supreme person, so nothing can hurt. But similarly, we see in like when Karna was fighting with Arjuna very intensely, then Lord Krishna said that Karna was throwing the arrows very fiercely. So one arrow was coming and was going to hit Arjuna right on his forehead. But at that time, Krishna just by his toe pressed his whole chariot. The chariot went under the ground actually 2-3 inches. So that arrow actually passed through, just touched his mukut actually, and then it didn't hurt anything like to the Arjuna. So see how small things, Krishna is so carefully take care of for his devotees. That's why Krishna says that my devotee will never perish. So Krishna himself takes care of his devotees. He likes his devotees, he loves his devotees, and actually we should serve him. Where we will get that kind of supreme Lord actually, our master, who is so merciful to all his devotees. So we can see actually naturally, if somebody comes and lives with us, just for a few days, we get so much attached to that person. So we can imagine when Pandavas was living with Krishna for so long time, they also get so much attached to Krishna, and the separation from him was very hard. So when Krishna was living, there was so much emotion in all over the kingdom, especially all the people related to Pandavas family actually. And the ladies were actually Kunti and Draupadi, and all those ladies were actually, because they had so soft heart, so they were emotionally much more in worse condition, just for thinking that Krishna will go away from them. Even for a devotee actually to forget Krishna is very difficult, because once you take shelter of Krishna, Krishna never leaves you. Krishna actually keep holding you. Even you want to enjoy the Maya, still Krishna will hold you, because we did a service to Krishna. Krishna will try to hold us. We have seen many Maharajas or many devotees actually who left ISKCON. They returned back to ISKCON, most of them. And why? Because once you take shelter of Krishna, Krishna will try to protect you as much as he can, and he can definitely protect you if we don't pay attention to Maya. Because Maya is actually relentless. Relentless means non-stop. It doesn't stop. It continuously, like Maya holds us in the net, in her net. So there is nice words, like Maya jale baddha hoye, baddha hi ke kajale. La Bhakti Vinod Thakur song, that Maya actually we are completely bound by the Maya. So he's suggesting that we should say Radha Madhav Naam Bole Re. So Maya is like we are born in the net of Maya, and we should take ourselves away from Maya actually by taking association of devotees, by hearing about Krishna. So that way actually our life will be perfect. And somebody may ask, why we are not getting attraction to Krishna? Because we are not hearing Srimad Bhagavatam properly. That's why. So Maya Devi actually, if we take shelter of Maya, she's never ever going to leave us alone. She's not giving you up, She will catch hold of you. Maya is going to stay with us all our lives till our last breath. So we should remember the potency of Maya Devi and try to get away, take shelter of a bona fide devotee, and Guru takes instructions from him and perform bhakti. That is the only. So we need to be in our natural environment. What is natural environment for us? Jivera Swarupa Nitya Krishna Das. So we have to be Dasanu Dasanu Das. But if we associate with the pure devotees, actually we should not do Anusharan. We should not do Anukaran actually. Anukaran means do not copycat them, but we should follow on their footsteps. That's Anusharan. So if you do Anusharan of the great souls, then our life will be perfect. We can see the proper environment. We can see in the history of Gajendra that crocodile was catching hold of the leg of Gajendra, and he was not in proper environment, but his environment is on the earth ground, not in the water. So, but it was proper environment for crocodile. So similarly, our proper environment is to be serving Lord Krishna. That's our proper environment. Jivara Sarupa Krishna Nityadas. So like Gajendra was fighting with crocodile for 1,000 years actually. So we are also bound by the Maya. And who can protect us? Only Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam can finish that war. Like war was finished by Lord Krishna when Gajendra did the prayer of Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu came running there. So similarly, that war can be we are also fighting with Maya all the time. All our life we are fighting with Maya. Maya never leaves us alone. So if we hear Srimad Bhagavatam properly and daily with love and with attention, then Maya Devi will leave us. Maya is relentless, and she is Maya all the time poses many challenges to us. So we should make our Lakshman Rekha, that we should not cross our Lakshman Rekha. Like we should not go to places of drinking or associate with the karmis, or we should not go to the prostitution. Those kind of things, we should avoid. All the bad people we should avoid. That way, if we live within our Lakshman Rekha, then the Maya Devi in the form of Ravan will not catch us actually if we are within our Lakshman Rekha. So we have to be relentless in our sadhana, so Maya will stay away from us. So I will end here now, and we can discuss something about if somebody has any question, comments. So thank you very much for hearing. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much for giving class this morning. Please accept my obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yes, thank you. So I wanted to, first of all, thank you for giving class, and to state that I'm appreciating your classes more and more from several perspectives. One is that you have the experience of practicing Bhakti Yoga for many years. And not just practicing Bhakti Yoga, but under so many different circumstances, as a husband, as a father, as a grandfather, as a professional. And you've done it all very nicely, as we can all see as a community. So in that way, you're a great example. And your reflections are based on your experiences, and that also adds to what you share in your sharing of the Shastras. The aspect of attention while hearing, I wanted to ask if you could give more realization on that, because myself as a mother, when my children were little, so my background is administrative, and so I can take notes very nicely. I was my Guru Maharaj's secretary for several years, so, and I've studied, and it's a skill set for me. So I can hear very attentively, but after becoming a mother, my attention span really pretty much relegated to my children. which is also appropriate because, they need, at least one person to care very attentively for them. And that is also service, right?
Yes,
But in
yes,
hearing,
yes.
yes, and in hearing, but hearing Shastra, does Krishna give us, I don't know, I guess a break when it comes to your service and hearing, because it's not possible to multitask. People think that that's actually a thing, but it's not. You can only do one thing 100% of the time. So hearing while doing things, depending on what you're doing, is that also acceptable?
Yes, Mataji, hearing should be properly and just with full attention. That's very important, because I also sometimes hear, when I'm doing some, like doing puja and doing different things, but then our attention divides, in the different things. So that's not good actually, and we cannot retain the things, so we should, while hearing, we should sit down at one place, take some notes, and after the class, maybe after 1 year to 2 hours, we should actually read the notes again and contemplate on those points, and try to grab some points, which we can remember and practice them, put them in our daily life. So those things are important. Otherwise, we can hear so many classes, but then nothing stays with us, So contemplation, chintan, is very important. So
Thank you so much. I'm sorry. Yes?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Anyone else has any comments or questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Prabhuji, I was also actually appreciating very much. I wanted to say the same thing, but Mitravinda Mataji said that when you give classes, because it is coming from experience, it has that effect. It's not just that. Of course, there is value in that also, that we hear and we repeat. But when it is realized knowledge, then it really goes through. So I appreciate your points about the importance of association and hearing. You quoted that incidents where you met with His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, and he told you to focus on that shloka, Satam Prasangad Mama Veera Samvido. So I will also try to follow that, read that verse and try to improve the hearing. But also one question is, although it is very important to hear attentively and then do chintan, but as Mataji said just now, especially as a housewife and a mother, we may not always be able to do that. So is there still some value in just hearing and not being able to, like right now I'm cooking breakfast and I'm trying to take in whatever I can and, doing these things also, because this is the time when classes happen and this is the time when I have to cook also. So there may not be 100% benefit, but there must be some little benefit that we still get in this association.
Of course, Mataji, there is definitely benefit of hearing anything about Krishna's activity, Leela, his pastimes, his association with the other devotees, so it's all important. And also what you are doing, like cooking for Krishna, raising the children also is Krishna service actually, so we cannot, Sri Prabhupada say, if you are doing, one Mataji, he wrote it later, that if you are doing raising the children, and then at the same time you're scheduled for some service, you should take care of your children. So Prabhupada gave more importance to taking care of children, because children are the future devotees actually, they will be good devotees because they are being raised in proper association. So yeah, when the children are grown up, then you can pay more attention to bhakti, but that responsibility mother has to do. And the cooking also is bhakti, for part of the bhakti, because you are offering to Krishna, of course, so it's for Krishna's service. So that service, so if you hear something, it may not be 100% effective, but of course it will be effective. And one will get benefit without doubt.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. That's reassuring.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I, I'm in the same category, being a mother, housewife, as well as working woman. It's really hard, but I try to spend most of my time listening to Bhagavad Kathas online on my headphone all the day, throughout the day. But still, I just feel that Maya is really tricky to handle because even though you are not, like right now when you were giving lecture, it's just amazing. And I felt that some of the very important points I missed because my mind was diverted. And I hope I can get this, video, the YouTube or recording back so I can listen to it again. With your experience, I definitely feel, as you mentioned, that Krishna lives within us, within our heart. So, and we do seva throughout the day, whatever we eat, whatever we do, whatever we can do, being a housewife and mother, I try to offer that to Krishna first. But then I'm just thinking, I talk to him a lot. I talk within my heart to him that this is what I feel. I share my thoughts instead of sharing it with somebody else. I share it with him, and that this is what's going on. Help me, like I need some guidance. And when you said that he lives within us, I always expect and I'm hoping that hope he can hold my hand and show me the right path. Tell me that everything will be all right, even if it's a dream, because that's coming from my heart and I'm talking to him. And I'm genuinely, thinking about him throughout the day. But obviously my mind gets diverted because of Maya Devi. I hope I can pray now. That's a good point. I'm going to pray to Maya Devi, please leave me alone. But I need to understand that if Krishna loves us, he sees us that we are spending time for him. I hope that, it's been 2 years I've been, I'm into this, but, and it's a true love for him, for me. It's not that I love him like, you know, it's like I'm missing him a lot. It's not that kind of feeling. I also say that, oh, I hope I can miss you, prema. I can get that prema bhakti for you. But, I hope Krishna can hear my voice one day and, hold my hand and show me the right path and take me out from this, Mayavi dunya. So
Mataji, definitely Krishna actually hears the proper prayer. If you do prayer, if you want to progress in Krishna consciousness, Krishna will definitely bless all of us. But we have to have the sincere desire for that. Also, you said that you will pray to Maya Devi. Actually, if you pray Krishna instead, because Maya Devi is the energy of Krishna actually. Maya Devi, Yoga Maya, they all work under the direction of Krishna. So if you pray directly to the Krishna, then Maya and Krishna will tell Maya Devi, stay away from this devotee, then Maya Devi will leave us alone, otherwise Maya is very strong. So we have to pray to the Krishna. That way we can stay away from Maya Devi and we can engage ourselves more and more in Krishna's service.
thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Mata.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any other devotee? If you have any comment or question. So I think we do not see any other devotee. So thank you very much, Prabhuji. It was really, really wonderful class today. You made so many points, as other devotees already said. It was, like really from your realization throughout the life, what you have that. Based upon that, you gave nectar to us. I wanted to have, from my side, as a comment, I noted 5 points which are very, very, touching to me. Like as you mentioned, for the association with the devotee, pure devotee, and I quoted saying that Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhi Hai. So like in the Bhagavatam also, when Narad Muni pastimes, when he met with the Vedantis, so by living during the Chaturmas only, he got chance to see moment for the Lord even. So that's very important. This verse is totally circle around the association of the devotees, and the one which you quoted for while serving with His Holiness Radha Nath Swami Maharaj. So that one, Satam Prasangam Mama Birya Samvido. So that's really good. In every Thursday, we read in the same canto, same chapter, a different verse, but that is having exactly same meaning. So that's the prasangam ajaram pasam atmanaho kabayo vidu sa eva sadhu sukrito moksha dwaram apavrita. So what material attachment we have in this material world, same if we apply with the, to the pure devotee, so that will, lead to the liberation. So Vishnugada Prabhu, every Thursday, he makes sure to, read that one. Then only we proceed for the, I will build a temple, which is for Prabhupada. That book, we read that. So it's a really good one. That is, we have to keep in the practice. And association, you told for the 3 types, that was really good. I mean, first we have to hear, here, and then that we have to contemplate on. That means the transmission, and then the transformation that will bring the transformation. So yeah, so thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Very nice, Prabhu, for your comments. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu, for the nice class. And then see, I have some question. This Maya you're saying, the Yoga Maya, Mahamaya, which way they will guide us?
Oh, it depends, what is our desire. If you are more towards enjoying this material world, then Maya Devi will come and grab us. But if we are determined in our devotion to Krishna, then Maya Devi will not touch us, then Krishna will tell Yogamaya that we will be under control of Yogamaya. So it's the same personality actually. Maya Devi also is not something like people think, Maya Devi may be bad. Maya Devi is actually also part of Yogamaya also, it's a different energy work in different, like electricity works in the 2 ways, heat and cold, same electricity was giving us the heat, now it will give the air conditioning, so same way it's the other side of the coin, Maya Devi and the Yoga Maya. So it depends on the Jiva's desire actually, where he wanted to go and what he wants to do. Like we were all in the belly of Krishna, when the creation started actually at that time, when there was everything went away, and then the new Brahma Day start, we were in the belly of Lord Vishnu. And then at that time we had the choice to go to either the spiritual world or material world, but we decided to come to the material world. So then we are under control of Maya Devi, but we can still practice Krishna consciousness and get under the shelter of Yoga Maya. So it's the same thing, but it's a different side of that. And it depends on the choice of the Jiva souls.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Like Ram Sham Prabhu said, Prasangam Majram Pasam,
that's also very nice.
Actually, whatever we are putting that knowledge this side, if we put the same knowledge in spiritual side, then Moksha Dwaram Pavritam. So that's what the sloka says. So mostly we go for other distractions. But if we put that knowledge in spiritual things, it will help a lot. That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for your comment. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Anyone else has any comments? Otherwise, we will end for the day today, and we will joining again tomorrow morning.
Yeah, Prabhuji, we can.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the very nice class. One thing that I take with me today, I always think to myself, how much I'm remembering Krishna during the day. We keep on hearing again and again. In every action, we have to remember Krishna. Then I'm thinking we're just stable. I felt the same way that you were expressing to Radhanath Maharaj. That we feel very stable. So thank you for reading this verse. And what is the is a chapter 325? You said
3:25:25.
25:25. Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing I'll take with me. Remember that. And also thank you, for everybody's comments, like Mitra Vinda Mataji was telling, you speaking from experience for years and years, you have been practicing and you're still practicing, This is a good example, we can follow, from association with devotee like you. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Kaivalya Prabhu. Wonderful class. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Pranacharya Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So we will end here today. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripasindhya
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for wonderful.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.